Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to SCP Pandemic. And this is a realistic first-person shooter cooperative game that is in early development right now. And that is very early development, so Grief Drums actually managed to get himself some access to this game and invited me along with him, so it was very cool to check it out. There's a video out on his channel where a squad of us go into an underground base in order to eliminate some hostiles down there and blow the entire base up as well, which is pretty cool. So let me give you a rundown of my first impressions of this very early in development game right now. It's currently on Kickstarter, it will be on Steam in the future. I think around about December is a potential time for a early access release. But this game is pretty cool so far. It is very much in the milsim kind of category, so far more realistic than arcadey. It's got that clunkiness that usually comes with those kind of games, but it does have some arcade elements, like if you get killed you respawn, but I assume in the future there'll be difficulty settings to actually switch that off. And also there's cabinets for health and ammo that you can just walk up to and use. So there is a few arcade elements in there, but it's certainly leaning far more into the kind of milsim rather than the arcadey. So this is kind of the opposite of something like Rainbow Six Extraction. Now in this very early development build, we were up against a single type of hostile, which was basically your runner type zombie. But because this game is stuck into the lore, that basically means they can make anything they want. So they could make a deadly hamburger if they wanted to, but there is actually some concepts for different type of enemies that we might get to see in the future, and of course they change in size, complexity, and what they can do, from even something that looks to be very similar to a face hugger. So yeah, that'll be interesting to fight. And overall, the story is that we are a squad that is part of an organization that goes out and, well, it's actually in the logo, secures, contains, and protects from kind of unusual events and things that are happening throughout the world. However, we have actually gone rogue because there is a threat that's been discovered that is so dangerous that has already infected a large amount of humans that the higher ups think that it's better to actually wipe out the human race than try and fight back, that it's kind of more humane, and we are a squad that's gone rogue. Now when it comes to first impressions of gameplay, it's very much that kind of milsim movement. It feels clunky. It doesn't have the kind of gun mechanics of something like Siege that I love, but that game of course is very far away from realistic, whereas this is much more in that realistic realm. And the cooperative aspect of this was definitely a lot of fun. The map we actually played on was huge, and we kind of worked our way through it, and it was actually a decent little story that it was telling us without actually telling us much. Like for instance, we came across guards that had obviously killed themselves because of what they were up against, and we also found a little note letting us know there was a party in the meeting room, which was a clue that there's probably going to be a lot of hostiles in that room. And the map we were playing was very impressive. We actually started off in kind of a maintenance area, which led into offices and then led into like massive tunnels. There was generator areas, there was a nuclear reactor, there was a common area, there was all kinds of cool stuff in different places to fight that all kind of had different aspects that we had to go to. So it was really cool. Not to mention the game actually already has as well a testing area and kind of shooting range. So you just need to jump in and you can test out all the different guns. And then there's like squares of different things, like literally a square of flesh. But there's like 5 or 6 of them in a row. So you can shoot around into flesh to see how far it will go through multiple enemies with different weapon types. You can also fire rounds into concrete and wood. There's a lot of different stuff you can do, along with a little kill house where there's just little targets you can practice on. So all very cool at the moment. But that is kind of it for now. There's not really much else to go into. It was a fun little thing to try out. Like I say, it's early development, so we'll see how it goes. But so far, it looks like a solid product. And if they keep developing it and adding new content, and obviously get an actual release on Steam, then yeah, I can see this being a lot of fun to check out every so often. Especially if they do have like modern support and stuff like that, where people can add in their own enemies and maps. That would be awesome, and I'm looking forward to see what the developers themselves do with multiple different hostiles and obviously a big range of weapons and stuff like that. But anyway guys, that is a first look at SCP Pandemic. Like I say, Grief Drums actually has a video out where we go on a mission with a squad, and it's a great way to see the game in action and how of course we played it. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.